What if America's favorite game, fish, is also one of the least eaten fish in the country? Not because it is rare, not because people cannot keep it, not because nobody catches it. The opposite is true. Every year, tens of millions of people fish for largemouth bass. Whole tournaments are built around this one fish. Some prizes reach $100,000. A huge fishing industry depends on it, and still, most people do not eat it. After all the boats, after all the rods, after all the lures, after all the waiting. The angler finally catches one. Then they take a picture and drop it right back into the lake. That is the strange part. We built a massive economy around catching an animal, but most people do not want it for dinner. Even stranger, many anglers never question it. They catch the bass. They hold it for a moment. They admire the size. Then they lean over the boat and let it swim away. Not always because the law says so, not because the fish is endangered, but because eating largemouth bass somehow feels wrong. And that creates one simple question. Why? People eat salmon without hesitation. They eat trout without hesitation. They eat catfish. They eat walleye. But mention cooking a largemouth bass. Suddenly the mood changes. Some anglers say, "Do not eat that." Some say bass tastes awful. Some say it is unsafe. Others act like it is almost immoral. So what is really happening here? Is largemouth bass dangerous? Does it really taste terrible? Or is something deeper hiding under the surface? Stay till the end. The last part will completely change how you think about this. By the end, you will understand something surprising. A fish can become untouchable, not because of what it is, but because of what people believe it means. The first explanation is simple. People say largemouth bass tastes like mud. And honestly, this idea did not appear from nowhere. Sometimes bass really can taste earthy. Sometimes it can taste dirty. Sometimes it can taste unpleasant. But that often depends on the water. The fish itself is not always the problem. Largemouth bass can pick up flavor from its environment. So one lake can produce one kind of bass. Another lake can produce a completely different experience. Picture a bass from a clean spring-fed lake. The water is cold. The water is clear. The fish may taste mild. Now picture a bass from a shallow pond. The water is warm. The pond is full of algae. The bottom is muddy. That fish may taste very different. Both fish are largemouth bass, but on a plate, they may not feel like the same fish. Some bass can absorb earthy compounds. Those compounds can smell musty. They can remind people of stagnant water. They can remind people of beets. That is where the muddy reputation begins. And it makes sense. If someone eats one bad bass, they remember it. Then they tell a friend. That friend tells another friend. Their kids hear it. Other anglers repeat it. Soon, the fish has a reputation. But there is a problem. Many anglers who say bass tastes terrible have never eaten one. They are not sharing experience. They are repeating a rumor. They do not know what clean water bass tastes like. They only know what they are supposed to say. So yes, some bass can taste muddy. That part is real, but it does not explain everything. It cannot explain millions of automatic releases. It cannot explain people refusing before tasting. It cannot explain the feeling that bass is not food. So there must be another layer. The next explanation sounds worse. People say largemouth bass are full of worms. And again, this is not completely false. Freshwater fish can carry parasites. Bass can carry them too. Some are called yellow grub. Some are called black spot. These tiny larvae can enter the flesh. They can show up in the muscle. And the first time you see them, it is disturbing. You cut into the fish. You expect clean white meat. Then you notice strange spots or tiny worm-like marks. For many people, that is enough. They stop right there. They never want to eat B.A.S.S again. But this part is usually left out. These parasites are not unique to B.A.S.S. They are common in freshwater fish. Walleye can have them. Perch can have them. Other fish can have them too. Yet people still eat those fish. They do not build a culture around avoiding walleye. Why? Because proper cooking kills these parasites. They are unpleasant to see, but they are not the great danger people imagine. So this explanation is also incomplete. The worms exist. The reaction is understandable. But it still does not explain the whole country. Now we have two common reasons. B.A.S.S can taste muddy. B.A.S.S can have parasites. Both can be true, but neither solves the mystery. Then comes the serious answer: contamination. This is not just a rumor. This is based on toxicology. Largemouth B.A.S.S are predators. They sit high in the freshwater food chain. They eat smaller fish. Those smaller fish eat insects. They eat algae. They eat even smaller organisms. Some contaminants move up this chain. They do not always disappear. Sometimes they concentrate. This is called bioaccumulation. Mercury can move from tiny life forms, then into small fish, then into bigger fish, then into predators like largemouth bass. By the top of the food web, levels can be much higher. Older predator fish can carry more mercury. Larger predator fish can carry more mercury. With largemouth bass, this can matter. One documented sample tested near 9 parts per million. The FDA action level is 1 part per million. That is a huge difference. This is why some states issue consumption advisories. It is why B.A.S.S are used in mercury testing. They concentrate contaminants efficiently. Mercury is also difficult to avoid. Some pollutants collect in skin. Some collect in fat. Those can sometimes be trimmed. But mercury settles in the muscle. That is the part people eat. You cannot fillet it away. You cannot cook it out. Now the argument feels stronger. Maybe B.A.S.S tastes muddy. Maybe B.A.S.S has parasites. Maybe B.A.S.S contains mercury. That sounds like enough. But the mystery still remains. Every year, people catch many small young B.A.S.S. Many come from clean lakes. Many are not giant old predators. Many are not from dirty ponds. Prepared properly, many would taste fine. And still, anglers throw them back. They do it almost automatically. Not after checking every advisory. Not after testing the water. Not after weighing every risk. They release the fish like a reflex. That is the real clue. If this were only about food safety, behavior would be different. People would keep small B.A.S.S from clean lakes. They would release big B.A.S.S from risky water. They would judge each fish separately. But that is not what usually happens. Many anglers release almost every largemouth B.A.S.S. No matter the size, no matter the lake, no matter how edible it might be. So this is not just about taste. It is not just about parasites.